Alright, let's refilm this video. This is my 1991 Mazda Miata. I bought this car for $2,700. Why? I don't know. Why did I buy this car for $2,700? I also have another 1991 Mazda Miata. It's red. It's right here. I have plans on taking all the nice parts out of this and putting it into my red Miata and kind of making it a nice car. My current red car has 240,000 miles. This one has 100,000 miles and has a lot of upgraded parts. So you're probably asking, why the heck did I buy this car for $2,700? Well, I was looking on Facebook Marketplace for a car. I got a few recommendations. The engines I saw were pretty clapped out. Nothing was looking like is even worth going and picking up. I want to reseal the engine. I want to do everything, but I didn't want to do it to an engine that had 240,000 miles on it. It just seemed like a waste of time. I wanted to get if I'm going to pull the motor out of the car, I want to get a car that has an engine that's worth pulling it out. So I was looking around for a few days, and then somebody sent me this link. It was a list of parts. I have the list here. I don't think this is the whole list, but this is the only thing I can find right now. The first thing that popped up was it has prices for everything that the guy paid for the car. So the first thing I saw on the list was Flying Miata turbo system with Garrett GT28R ball bearing turbo with upgraded adjustable wastegate can. So that caught my attention. I was like, a Garrett turbo? That'd be pretty sweet. It says adjustable wastegate can. On the car, it says a wastegate that doesn't look adjustable, and it says HKS, which I'm pretty sure that's probably better than what it was. It has an upgraded AVO blow-off valve. Don't really know what that is, but he has it valued at $250. I mean, it's pretty big. Has an aluminum heat shield for the turbo from Flying Miata. Looks pretty cool. I've always liked the look of those. K&N air filter and powder-coated high-gloss black charge pipes. It also has a Link ECU with the upgraded chip for 440 injectors. So it has 440 injectors and an upgraded chip in his ECU link. I don't know anybody that has a Link ECU. Yeah, it's a Link ECU. I don't know anybody that has one of those in their car. I looked it up. They seem to be popular maybe 10 years ago when this car was built. So I'll probably be upgrading that to a Mega Squirt, which I already have in my current car. So that was another reason I bought this car. I figured I could at least sell it for a little bit of money. I don't know, we'll see. It has a Venishu fuel rail. Don't really know what that is, or if I'm even saying it right. Never heard of that brand, but it has fuel. It tees off and it gets fuel from both sides of the rail. It's pretty cool for the 440 injectors. Upgraded wiring for the fuel pump. Okay. Has a Greddy ProFab B boost controller. It has a module that sits underneath the dash, and it has adjustable boost. Obviously, it's a boost controller, but it also has a button that you put on your steering wheel, and you can run it at 10 pounds of boost, and when you hit that button, it ups it to like 15 pounds. This is the way I understand it. I thought that was kind of cool. The button looks kind of retro. It looks like a life alert button, but whatever. I thought that was kind of neat. He has that valued at $408. NGK wires and plugs, whatever. Has an aluminum flywheel from Flying Miata. $350 is what he has that valued at. I've driven the car. It's definitely a lightweight flywheel. It also has a ACT XTSS clutch in it. Never really heard of that, but he has that valued at $500. I don't know when it was put on or what the mileage is on the clutch. It has an upgraded transmission from a 1997 Miata with 23,000 miles. It says much more smooth than the one that came with the car. It has an upgraded torsion differential from a 1999 Miata. It has the 3.909 gears. I don't know if all torsions have that gearing, but that's the gearing in this one. The exhaust is a couple different resignators. He kind of built it custom. He has it valued at $400. It's 2.5 inches. It sounds good. I think I have a video of it starting to play here. It's probably gonna be horrible, but that's what it sounds like. Trust me, it sounds way better in person. Whenever he started the car up, when I went to go look at it, I was like, yeah, this is nice. I'm putting this exhaust on my car. Sounds way better than my whatever I have on my car. My car doesn't have a resonator or anything. It has a muffler, but unlike that guy. But my car has a muffler and 2-inch exhaust. I'm not a big fan of the sound of it. It sounds like a... Can you hear that? Freaking Mustangs, I swear. For the cooling, it has a PWR all aluminum radiator. It does have a little bit of marks in it. It looks like the fan came loose, the bolts loosened up when I was taking them off. There wasn't any nuts on it, and it was rubbing up against the radiator. I think there might be a hole in it at one spot because it was dripping antifreeze at some point, but I don't know if it was coming out of that. It was kind of hard to tell where the dripping was coming from. It has SPAL high flow fans with manual startup switch in the cockpit, in addition to an automatic turn on through the Link ECU for $399. So he has a manual switch inside the car that turns the fans on, and high flow fans for $400. I don't know, but it turns it on through the ECU. You can do that in Mega Squirt. It has an oil cooler. The oil cooler also has an oil cooler thermostat. I've never seen one of those before. I mean, it makes perfect sense to allow your car to warm up faster without cooling down all of the oil before it gets up to temperature. He said that that's valued at $300, so that's kind of cool. I'll probably put that on my car. The piping seems kind of, or the tubing, hosing, seems kind of sketchy. I will be replacing that probably with some AN lines. Has an oil relocation kit. He has that valued at $150. I don't know what brand it is. Another reason I bought this car was the suspension. 250,000 miles on this suspension on my Miata. Stock everything. It has ground control height adjustable coilovers. Never really heard of the brand. They're kind of beat up. You can tell the springs have rubbed on the coils a little bit. So I might use those. I also might go with a different coilover. I'm not 100% sure. We'll see how the build goes. Has a racing belt front sway bar, which is way stiffer than the original sway bar. It's like, you know, twice as thick. It also has a racing belt front sway bar brace and these little billet aluminum looking braces thing. I don't know if that's also a racing belt or if that's something different, but regardless, both of those are probably going to get repowder coated and put onto my car. It also has racing belt adjustable end links for the sway bar, so like a whole sway bar kit. Has an OEM rear sway bar, which don't think it has a rear sway bar on it at all, so I don't really know how accurate this list is. Has upgraded polyurethane bushings by ProFlex, I think. PowerFlex. Give me a second. PowerFlex. It has PowerFlex polyurethane bushings, which have a lifetime warranty. I'll probably put those on my car. Those ones seem to be in good shape. The lower control arm on the driver's side, the car's been rolled, obviously, and that's where it took the most of the hit. The lower control arm's pretty well bent. Not sure how bad the steering rack is. I'll have to look into that. The upper control arm seems fine, but we'll look into that too. It also has a Canon rear subframe brace. I don't know how much it braces, but it looks pretty cool. It has Mazda competition motor mounts. That was another thing, you know, just buying a whole car versus buying the motor. It comes with stuff like the motor mounts. I need to put new motor mounts in my car. The motor mounts in my car are non-existent. When you rev that thing, it looks like the engine's about to twist itself out of the car. So, versus buying just the motor. It has Flying Miata upper rear shock tower extenders. $279, I guess. I don't know. Has a nice alignment done by Predator Motorsports to match the suspension. Well, that ain't gonna matter anymore. I've taken the whole front suspension off this car. Has a Flying Miata shock tower brace. You know, the zoom one off the front of the car. No longer on there. I've taken it off, which will probably be in the next video. It also has a Hard Dog, hardcore, double diagonal roll bar with harness bar. It also has a Hard Dog, hardcore, double diagonal roll bar with harness bar that the guy I bought the car from credits to saving his life when he rolled this car. Hard Dog actually has a lifetime guarantee on the roll bars. If you roll the car and you have proof that you've bought a new car, you pay for shipping, $150 to get your new roll bar, and you destroy your current roll bar, which you have to cut it in a couple different spots, ship them 3 different pieces of your roll bar where the welds are. They'll send you a new roll bar to put in your car, which luckily enough, have a new car, putting a roll bar in it, they're gonna ship me a new roll bar. So there's that and much more on this car. That is why I bought a $2,700 rolled car. I probably should have gave it power wash. I mean, look at all the freaking dirt on this thing. If you want to join me on my journey of tearing this car down, restoring it.
I want to say restoring it. That's not what I'm doing. I'm making a street car to do freaking burnouts in a whole parking lot. I'm not restoring this car.
My plans for this car were originally to chop it up and scrap the rest of the car once I got all the parts off of it that I wanted. But since then, I've watched a video on Hoonigan's channel, Shark Cart, and has completely changed my mind on what I want to do with this car. This car is going to be turned into a death cart. I'm going to be taking
But Riley, you just said you're going to take your engine and put it in your car, and you're going to take all the suspension components off of the blue car and put it in your car. How are you going to drive this car around?
My current car still runs. So, custom built control arms, custom built everything I can, custom built dash, custom built everything. I'm gonna be getting a tube vendor, tube notcher, I'd have my welder and stuff over here. We're gonna start making that after the red car's done. So that will be a very fun video to follow along and watch. I can't wait for that car to be done. So that's the plans of this car. I'm sure there's a ton I'm missing on this car. Watch for the next video where I start ripping off the front control arms and the front suspension, rear suspension, different engine parts just to kind of see what's in there, which I've already done. Just subscribe, hit that like button. Let's have fun.